Hey, what is this? Yo, Jazzy J. Angel, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Ashley, how are you doing? I'm close to 100%. Close, but... Yo. Okay, now I gotta act like I know what I'm doing. Okay, alright. There's a lot going on. Okay. I'm just gonna... Okay, alright. I don't know how to handle this. I'm like... First stream in what feels like 84 years. Yo. Chat, how's this camera looking? Let me turn off the preview everywhere. You said 16 months? Wow, that's crazy. So okay, let me pretend like I know what I'm doing. All right, I need... Oh, it says no sound detected. Hold on. Make sure I got that set up correct over on TikTok. Audio mixer. No, that's right. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, whatever. Hey, Firecell, welcome in. Good to see you. Okay, hold on. Let me move the TikTok window over here. Chat, we got a level 2 hype train going on. Where is it? Okay. All right. I don't know what's happening. Yo, Nadia. You said you're liking the new camera? Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It's beautiful. I've been wanting to. So I still have the other camera, by the way. So let me show you. Where is it? This is the old camera. You see that? You see the difference? The Logitech is right there in front of me still. And then, it's crazy. It's just like, it's night and day. It is night and day. Oh yeah. Sarah, thank you so much, by the way. With this being, okay. I'm still looking at the Logitech just out of habit. With this being the first stream, this is primarily just going to be a stream where we catch up with each other. I fix any technical issues that we potentially run into so that we can be good to go come next stream. And this is actually a temporary angle right now because I have an Elgato arm coming in tomorrow so that I can place it directly behind my monitor. Yeah. Thank you so much. All right. So before I keep getting even more distracted, let me go through the activity feed. So Nadia resubscribed with Prime a minute ago. Now they've been subscribed for 16 months. Thank you so much. Again, still looking at the Logitech. Stormageddon, thank you so much for resubscribing now as well. Using your Prime sub, you only get one of those a month. 16 months now as well. Thank you so much. We are currently at a level 2 hype train. Jazzy J resubscribed with Prime 3 minutes ago. They have also been subscribed for 16 months. Lady named Sarah resubscribed for 16 months at tier 1. They've been subscribed for 17 months. What does this button do? Exactly. Chips Fire Up resubscribed for 6 months. 6 months at tier 1. They've been subscribed for 17 months. Angel has resubscribed for 18 months at tier 1. They've been subscribed for 17 months. Yo, that is insane. Absolutely insane. Y'all are incredible. Thank you. It's a very clean picture, Silverfire. Yo, like it's crazy. Like it's I don't know. It is. I never thought this day would come. I'm not gonna lie to you. You all have Unicorn of Time to thank. Audio source. Hold on. Primary speaker. Yeah. System. There we go. Save. Hold on. I'm checking the audio settings on TikTok real quick. Primary microphone. Yeah. Is there anyone over on TikTok? Yo, Fitzman, thank you so much. Can you let me know how the stream's looking over there? Want to make sure that if there's anything wrong, I change it. Now I can be caught in 4K. So I can stream in 4K, by the way. I could do that, but I can only stream in 30 frames per second. And most people probably wouldn't have an issue with that, but I really like streaming in 60. So we're streaming in 1080p, but whenever I'm making videos, I can record in 4K, 60 frames per second. It's amazing. But yes, Unicorn of Time. Oh man, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. She, not only did she give me this camera, but it is like she did all the work. She did all the research. She was like, I found this camera. Let's watch some YouTube videos on it. Even Harris Heller has backed it, and other more popular YouTubers rather than Twitch streamers per se. And this camera is new. This camera came out this year. Came out in July of this year. It is the Sony Alpha ZV-E10 Mark II. I have typed that so many times that I definitely have it memorized. I've messed around with this camera so much. Right now, I'm just glad to finally use it. Now, I've recorded a lot of video because, you know, I took it with me when we went out of town to Charleston, spent time with my family. So got a lot of videos recorded. My mom wasn't too happy. She doesn't like to be recorded. She's a little, I guess that's where I get my sketchiness from. So she would literally go to my camera and turn it off. And I'm like, yo, listen, I don't have a therapist, but you have to understand, mother, that you didn't really take a whole lot of photos or videos of any kind of my childhood growing up. So my childhood is a blur. Therefore, I have to overcompensate and now record the rest of my life. So first 30 years of my life is a whole mystery, but the next 30 years and more will not be. So, yo, Little Brit, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Now 13 months on the 4-month streak. MJ with the Prime sub as well. Look at y'all. Y'all are amazing. You don't have to do that. Like, y'all are using your one and only Prime sub that you get a month. Thank you. Seriously. I appreciate y'all more than you know. If Destiny subscribed at tier 1 to see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Is there anyone over on TikTok? Is there anyone on TikTok? Let me know how the video is. You and I got ourselves some nice new gifts. You with the camera, me with the new knife to remove meat from bones. Right, to remove meat from bones. What kind of meat? What kind of bones? It's not like I watch horror movies essentially every single night with Unicorn. So I'm just like, you said, why is my angle so weird? Because thanks to the holidays, like look, see, I'm not gonna move it actually. It's on a tripod right now. It is on a tripod because I'll start messing with it and fixate. So it's on a tripod. I have an Elgato, what is it called? Elgato Master Mount coming in tomorrow. And I bought an Elgato like Master Mount flex arm. So I can mount it directly behind my monitor so I can have like the, you know, the center angle. But for anyone that's not watching on Twitch, which by the way, hey, Silverfire, thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing that, by the way. I still have the other camera. Look, for anyone that wasn't tuning in earlier, this is the Logitech. Do you see the difference? Some of you already saw the difference. Do you see the difference? Look at that. Hey, y'all put up with me with this for 5 years and counting. I am blessed. Right? You see that? I'm so happy that I can kind of show that difference. Yo, the video is just as clean as it is on Twitch. That's what I like to hear. That is what I like to hear. Right? Right? What? What's missing, Kill Demo? And, that's not... You mean... These Cheez-Its? Look at that! Look how crisp that Cheez-It box looks. Look at that. Now, if I turn off the camera... you know, honestly, I'll give Logitech that. It still looks good. The Cheez-It box still looks good. Yes. Of course. Yo! Seth just subscribed to tier 2. You did not need to do that. Cheese and rice, thank you so much. 45 months, that's crazy. What do you think, Seth? Did you see the difference? Logitech, Sony. Logitech, Sony. Logitech, Sony. Oh man. It's TikTok isn't switch over. No. Yeah, I do have it. I do have Logitech disabled, but if I wanted to, there it is. Okay, so TikTok fam, Twitch, you're probably not seeing this, but TikTok fam, Logitech, Sony, Logitech, Sony. Logitech, Sony. Does that work? Big difference? Yeah, right? You said you dislike TikTok? Hey, I completely understand. You can see stuff on my walls better now too? Yeah. Yeah, look. This is probably all I'm going to talk about, honestly, for this stream, because I've been itching. Like... Oh, if I could just tell you everything that has been going on. Been waiting for this day. I didn't think it would ever come. Did not think. What game? Nora, welcome in over on TikTok. Thank you so much. You see that, Nora? Hey. Yeah. As long as I still do the camera stare. Oh. Like I said, this is actually temporary. This is a temporary angle. But it's on a tripod, so I could move it around if I want to. I'm just not going to, for the sake of stability in the stream. I am not 100%. Like, I still have like a little bit of a drip feed in the back of my throat, but it's usually if I'm like laying down, because it'll start to collect. But you know, I'm doing, this is day 9. I think it's like day 9. So honestly, I'm just about done. That's what you've been dealing with too. It's so annoying. It's so annoying because, oh, hold on. I just saw Alex comment. Dear Wiz, I spent part of my day with 988. They asked me to remember one thing that brings me joy. The first thought I had was you. You helped me get through a hard time. Thank you. You mean more to people than you know. Alex, I still keep looking at the Logitech. I'm just trying to think of how I want to say this. Ah, the Switch just turned off on me. It's like, so I guess you're not going to play the Switch today. It's like, maybe, we'll see. Stop pressuring me. Cheese and rice. Your butt. I don't know if we're going to play it. I don't know, but I figured I would at least have it up because, like I said, I'm excited. Stop it. Oh, Jessica, look, watch this. Chat's probably already tired of it, so I'm just gonna do it over on TikTok. Logitech, Sony, Logitech, Sony. Oh man, I want y'all to literally hear that in your sleep. Oh, ADD, sorry. A-Link, you are a beautiful person. You really are. And I feel like I don't deserve a friend like you, because you're there for me no matter how social or antisocial, like right now primarily antisocial I am. And I can't imagine what you're going through. I really can't, no matter how much you are willing to share. But just know that every day that I see that you're still, you know what, this is the core community. I'm gonna be real with you. Every day that I see that you're still alive, I'm grateful. I'm worried. I worry about it, you know. But I don't want to project that, and I don't want to put that out there. But I've seen too many things over the years, too many instances where, you know, we just turn a blind eye, and none of us really know how much people are truly suffering. And next thing you know, you're watching a documentary on it, you're hearing about it on the news, or you log into your Facebook and you're seeing all these posts about my condolences, and I've seen that quite a bit. Ironically, I felt like I've seen it more post-COVID than pre-COVID, of just people my age, like my exact age. We're talking, I lost somebody earlier this year that was just 12 days apart from me, and we grew up together. I talked about it a little bit. He was in the military, looked like he had a beautiful family, and he took his own life. If you were to go to his Facebook and look at his photos, it's a picture, you know, it's pictures of his beautiful family, and you know, he touched hundreds of lives. He's probably saved even more. He was in the military from the moment we graduated high school in 2009 till this year. And he was in the JROTC, he was in the ROTC, you know, he comes from a military background. So I you know, the messed up part is I felt like in my own network, my social network of people that I grew up with, you know, people that never met me through content creation, I felt like no one around me cared about him as much as I did. But at the same time, I was that person that didn't stay in contact with him very often. You know, we'd only talk a couple times a year, and I regret that. I really do. And he needed help. The help he was needing, he couldn't get. And I don't know. That's just one example. That's just one example that hit home with me. And I guess ironically, that's one of those things where it's like, I guess I do need to talk to a therapist, because every time I've tried to talk to somebody, like someone that I know, they're just like, oh, well, he took his own life, so, you know, who cares? Sorry. Let me rephrase that. It wasn't a whole who cares per se. That's the vibe I felt. It was more or less the situation where they're like, well, it was his decision. He ultimately did that. And I used to have that mentality where it's like, you know what, if you did that, you know, I don't like that's, there's so many things you could have done, right? That's the thought process I used to have. But at the end of the day, it's just sad. Like my feelings have changed, my perspective has changed on that, and it's sad. It's very sad to when that happens, because I feel like we failed them. Yes, they were the ones that ultimately made that decision, but we failed them. We failed them by either not making it known well enough in the way that they need it to be known, that we're here for them. Maybe we blew them off every now and then during those times of need, and sometimes you can't help people. I think that is the hardest thing for someone like me, and many of you can relate to, is not really ever throwing in the towel on that. You know, how many of you have truly felt like they cannot be helped? Like someone that you know, right? They cannot be helped. You know, I've tried, and you know, I just like I give up. If they do it, they do it, right? And I think honestly, it's easier if it's someone I don't know to come to that conclusion. But someone that I know, I'm just like, this is where my insanity actually would, you know, become a strength, because maybe I would be the only person that wouldn't give up. And my birth chart does say I do have a hero complex. Surprise, surprise. But it's life is precious. And, you know, we're at a point in the world, you know, technology wise and society or civilization wise, where you can accomplish anything that you want to accomplish. You can get any kind of help that you need. But also, there are so many ways to harm yourselves. And a lot of the times you don't even realize that's what's happening, because maybe the expectation you have is harming yourself is, you know, something physical related, but it's more than that. It's more like, you know, what are the addictions that you have that aren't really helping you progress through life? You know, how many times have you, and you don't have to answer this, just think about it. How many times have you made a decision to indulge in something that you are addicted to? Hopefully you're at least mindful enough to know that this is an addiction that you have, and you're like, I'll worry about it later, right? You know, I'll just let the world burn while I indulge in my pleasures. You know, and you know, the theme of this year has been balance. You know, I've preached about it probably over 100 times, and next year the focus is going to be nurturing, establishing, and maintaining relationships with people. So next year's going to be the year that, and I'm not waiting till next year, by the way, but that's going to be the focus, is because balance is a lifelong process. You know, Aunt May let us know that in Spider-Man. But I'm excited to really be more social again. I've been doing that. I've been trying to connect with my people that I grew up with, because I kind of let them go to the wayside over the last 5 years of doing content creation. And, you know, because I have my core community here, you know, y'all accept me for who I am. Y'all are into what I'm into. I don't really have to explain a whole lot of things to you. Whereas every time I try to explain this life, this part of my life to people, if they're not in the same space, they don't really understand. And a lot of times they don't care to understand. And that's because it's not their lives. And admittedly, I'm the same way to an extent, you know. Like if I see that you're super excited about something, then I want to give you the attention you deserve, because I want to find out why you're excited about it. But at the end of the day, you know, depending on what it is, it can be very hard for me to truly match that level of excitement that you have. Like if it's, you know, I'll just mention crocheting, right? Unicorn's very good at it, and I love the products that she makes from crocheting, or the pieces that she makes from crocheting, but the whole process, like watching that, seems stressful. You know, I feel like I would get hand cramps all the time. I'm looking at the little sheet of paper she has to like keep up with the knots or whatever, the math involved, and you know, so then again, I don't know if I've met anyone that's excited about crocheting per se, but I would say that crocheting is definitely a form of therapy for anyone that needs it but doesn't want to talk to a therapist. But, so you got clean about a decade ago, now fight daily to stay so good. Yo, Magic Mark, welcome in. Your father passed on October 23rd. What happened? I gotta learn to read chat. That's what good streamers do. He had dementia and then got pneumonia. How long did he have dementia? Did he remember you? Vanna, hey! Vanna, listen, were you here? Chat's about to be like, please lie. Vanna, lie to Wizard. Were you here when I was showing the camera quality difference? Happy to do it again. You want to get into crocheting? It's honestly, you should. Last visit to Texas in July was wonderful. He was totally in his sound mind. He was so happy. I was, but do it again. Do it. See, all right, perfect. Okay. So I'm gonna do it over on Twitch. Okay, I'm not gonna do it on TikTok. Where is it? Okay, ready for it. Logitech, Sony, Logitech, Sony, Logitech, Sony. The only thing consistent is the quality of the Cheez-It box. Seems to be pretty good. See? Look at that! See that Nabisco? Wait, no, not Nabisco. It's, what is it? The Kellogg's? Does Kellogg's make these? It's Kellogg's. Kellogg's, yes. Kellogg's, people. The camera quality on the Sony is so good, I can see the bit of gel you forgot to blend in. Oh man. I will tell you, so I'm not lying to you. There is a filter that I could have enabled on the Sony camera that touches you up. There's like a low level, a mid level, and a high level quality, but I have it disabled. And I'm not sure how I feel about it, because I'm like, I remember I saw you said play with it. Let's see if I could do it. I might be able to do it through my phone, because I can connect to it that way. And just chat, forgive me. TikTok, Twitch, forgive me. I'm gonna be even more challenged with reading chat. And oh wait, I might not be able to do it while I'm streaming. Hold on, let me go to camera settings. Let's see if it lets me do it. Maybe not. But what's really cool is that this camera allows me to stream to YouTube. Like, I could just disconnect it from the PC and I could stream straight to YouTube from the camera. So there's going to be times where I will definitely try that. So I might start trying to. You said you saw it get darker? Yeah, that's because I have it on auto right now, because I do have my manual mode set up, but since it's the first stream, I figured I will save that for another time. Like, maybe I'll mess around with manual mode more for streams when I have my Elgato arm put up. Settings, camera settings. I don't know if it'll let me. Hold on. There's another app that I can run on my computer. Let's see what happens. Refresh. move my character around just so. See if it lets me. Okay. Right. So this was the manual mode. See how it's really dark right now? It's because I have the ISO low, and I accidentally I put a cap on the ISO because I didn't want to. Like, I'm darkening it right now. Hold on. The ISO can go all the way up to like 10,000 something, but I limited it to 1600. Camera settings. Don't think I... Yeah, so this is stuff that I'll just mess with later. So I'm gonna go back to just auto for now. That's better. Hey, Angel, how was work today? You listened to that whole heartfelt speech with the Irish voice. Can y'all tell the difference in my voice right now? Yeah. Here's all the games I own that I have never finished. It's a long list to take notes. Oh man. You ain't lying. It's bad. Oh, you want milk? What? Start the music back over. Look at that. We still got people in the Discord. That makes me happy. Is it in the... Oh, here we go. Clips. Watching it. It's about to be a quality clip. I can tell. 5 weeks. What's been 5 weeks? Yo, Jessica, thank you so much for the lightning, by the way, and the GGs. Yo. Beautiful. That is a beautiful clip. Hold on. I'm actually really happy about that. Thank you, Destiny. I'll have you know, I have not been progressing the story in Star Rail. However, I have been building my characters still, and I've been building my characters in Genshin because I figured now I'm even more excited because I can go back in any content that I've made. I can like this camera is going to help me with making new forms of content because I should try Infinity Nikki. It's a cozy gotcha. May have told Destiny about it. Why would you do that? Why would you tell? Look, I've already messed up by telling Destiny about the Hoyo games. Okay, Destiny is literally the example of what I was wanting to happen for people anytime I would promote it, and then not fully understand just how risky that is, because Hoyo decided to make more games and instill the same dangerous practices in all of them and have mastered their schedules so that if one platform or one game is down for maintenance, the other one's ready to go with a new expansion, you know, or events are going on every single week for all those games. So I mean it's to the point where Destiny's actually ahead of me now, and that's a big deal. It took me like 2.5 years, almost 3 years to get to where I'm at in those games, and Destiny got there in like 6 months. So but at least Destiny doesn't spend money. Okay, that's the big thing. Okay, that's the big thing. If Destiny was spending money, like lots of money, then, you know. You know, it's like, what are bills? You know, the legal side now, one of them are trying to sue us. Wait, what? Pagan, your work is shutting down in 5 weeks? Are you serious? Thank you. All right, real talk. Let me know if I need to go back to Logitech. I don't know how I feel about y'all being able to see me this crisp, okay? Like, I remember I saw myself in 4K on the iPhone a couple years ago when they were like really pushing 4K, and I will tell you, I will not watch myself in 4K, at least not on the iPhone. I'm like, oh, why? What? That is it really? It can't be that bad. It can't. Oh, now I understand why women wear makeup. Cheese and rice. Is there men's makeup? I'm like, dab me up. About to put a mask on. Yo, King Superman, welcome in. Good to see you. Hey, I appreciate you. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's one thing I've learned. So when we're live streaming, we're going to be live streaming in 1080p, 60 frames per second for my techies out there. But when I am making YouTube videos and TikTok videos, stuff like that, I can record in 4K 60 frames. And the reason why I want to do that is because it allows me to be able to do things like zooming in without like losing quality, you know, or seeing a bunch of pixels and stuff. And I've even made some B-roll content. I think what I need to do is put accessories in the throne site for this camera so that I can, so then y'all can help me over the years, okay? Not right now. Y'all can help me with getting things like a mount for my car. So if I want to record B-roll or just, you know, like do some vlogging in my car, you know, legally, not holding the camera or anything, you know, I could do that. Or, you know, get those cages to like help hold the camera and keep it stable. And things like shotgun mics or whatever. So if I am recording somewhere outside the home, you know, I'll have that. But I will tell you, the built-in mic on the camera is actually pretty good. I wonder, I'm curious. I am going to mute my Shure microphone and y'all tell me, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear the microphone from the camera? So I muted the Shure mic. I muted this mic. So you should be hearing me from the camera over there. How does it sound? Because I don't, you know what? I think I can turn on monitoring. You hear me as loud and clear? Okay, so then it sounds the same. Hold on, people. I might be messing with you by accident. Hold on. I may not have it. Okay. What about now? Does it sound different? Or it sounds the same? Oh, an echo. Okay. So there's an echo because I turned on track 1. Okay. Really? Okay, so I just disabled it. Interesting. This mic is still disabled right now, people. This is still disabled. Wait. How about now? Can you hear me now? Still muted? Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. It sounds like I'm in a tunnel. Okay, that. So I wasn't doing it right. That is the built-in speaker on the camera. So, you said you haven't had an echo, Piggy? Well, there was definitely an echo earlier because there was both mics were broadcasting on the same track. So right now I have this disabled, so you're just hearing me from the camera. It would sound better if it were closer, like where your Logitech camera is right now. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, wait. I'm talking towards the camera now. How does this sound? And it's totally fine if it sounds bad, right? Because it doesn't need to sound good. I have this. Okay. All right, let me, All right, how's that sound? Oh, okay, I've disabled the camera mic now. It has some static, but it's not bad, yeah. You're probably hearing the computer. You're probably hearing the computer in the background. That's what it was. Oh yeah. Yeah, like that's why people spend so much money on these things. Which community paid for this. Community paid for this mic, community paid for the Logitech, community paid for I think the I think Unicorn got me the Go XLR. Yeah, Unicorn got me the Go XLR Mini. But y'all definitely came through. Y'all came through with this boom arm. Y'all came through with this, and I am. There's so much. You know what? Let me stop talking. I'm gonna read chat. Okay, I'm gonna read chat both TikTok and Twitch. Let's start with Thanksgiving. For my Americans, how was Thanksgiving for you? If it wasn't anything special, then sometimes depends on the context, Seth. Still find myself. See, that's why I got to get that camera over here, because the Logitech, I mean, we're talking about like 3.5 years of muscle memory with the Logitech right there. I might need to open a window. It's like getting hot in here. She's around. It was cold. Ugh. Ooh, Puerto Rican Thanksgiving. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Doofy, thank you so much. So how does the moon get a haircut? Eclipse it. And see, that's when I stop looking at chat. So, anyways, before Artsy rudely was punning me. Very punny. Very punny. I'm just playing. This was our first year cooking. It was fun. Did you take pictures? What did you make, Vanna? You're in Georgia and it's warm state. Yeah, same. Remember, we are 2 states apart and just, one interstate away. Yeah, you just jump on 85 and you will make it all the way up here to Charlotte. TikTok over here struggling? What is TikTok struggling with? Jessica, is it quality? Do I need to restart the TikTok stream? Ooh, what is extended chat? Oh, that's for group stuff. Got it. You haven't noticed anything? Okay. Hey, well, TikTok likes to gaslight me. Artsy, how are you doing, by the way? So you made, Vanna made sweet potato casserole, corn pudding, ham. Okay, I want you to know ham is my favorite part of Thanksgiving. I'm sure a lot of people love turkey. But for me, like, my mom made the perfect ham. It was sweet. It was slow cooked in a crock pot. And okay, hold on. Let me not get distracted. Sweet potato casserole, corn pudding, ham, eclair cake. What is eclair cake? And stuffing. My husband's brother made the other half. Wow, that is awesome. TikTok needs to come to Twitch before it gets banned. Oh, that's right. I think I did see that. I saw that TikTok is still, well, that's if they decide not to sell to an American company. Which, I don't know enough about that. Like, does that mean that they literally have to sell TikTok, like the whole part of TikTok, like all of TikTok, to an American company? Or is there like a certain division that needs to be sold and owned by an American? Because that's messed up, honestly. I feel like that's messed up. If we're like, hey, we get that your app is popular, but because it's like super popular, an American needs to own it. It's like, okay, that's the most narcissistic thing we have said in a long time. like only America's allowed to create popular apps. But I'm just curious how many countries out there have hit us with those same issues. Has other countries hit us with that, with Facebook and MySpace? Well, sorry, show my age. Facebook, X, still Twitter in my eyes. Snapchat, Instagram. Are they doing that to us? Are they saying, hey, y'all's apps from Silicon Valley are way too popular and invasive, therefore we need someone from our country to own those apps? It's like, I don't think so. You miss MySpace? I do too. I miss the being able to edit our pages. You know, everybody learned how to start coding. Everybody was learning HTML at least. His wife made a strawberry poke cake. I'll be sharing the recipe. Do it. Oh my gosh. How was it hanging out with your mom and your brother, assuming he was there? First off, he's always there. That's the elephant in the room, is he usually never leaves his room. But cross my fingers, we may have had a breakthrough over Thanksgiving. He's turning 22, December 26th, and I think he's finally getting tired of living in the Matrix. He's like, I think I want to get a job in IT. He's trying to see if I can help him get a job with Microsoft, and the truth is I can't. I can't help him get a job with Microsoft. Microsoft makes us go through training. Oh my gosh. I had the microphone on mute this whole time. Y'all can still hear me, right? That's weird. Whatever. Okay, if there's anything important that you want to share with me, copy it and then paste when you see me looking at a chat, okay? Don't spam it. Don't spam it. The mods will get rid of it. But keep it ready, like a hotkey. You know, have your hotkey or your trigger finger ready to go, ready to paste. So be like, quick, Wizard's looking at chat. Like what the good streamers do. Katie, welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah, he said he's tired. He's tired of just like, you know, being cooped up. He plays a lot of League of Legends. He's managing a pretty big community, I think, for League of Legends, or no, he might be running a GTA 6 community. But it's so weird. It's so weird. Like he's into so many of the things that I'm into, but he doesn't. Oh, that's cool. Trapfest just coming in here. Okay, triggering my ADHD right now. Do you see that? It's just spinning, and that's all I want to do is just keep on spinning. You interact with us more than most streamers. Really? I understand for the streamers that have an audience size let's just say this in the hundreds or thousands, because it gets to a point where it turns into, honestly, like you're watching a television show live stream, right? Because there's so much activity, so many chatters, so many tweeting, right? But Travis, welcome in. Good to see you. Oh, 5. Yeah, 5. Sorry. I think people have been talking about GTA 6 for so long that it's just in my brain. Speedruns of Mario. You really only watch you and Scammer Payback, which is a totally different thing, not gaming. Really? I actually feel bad then because I haven't been streaming a whole lot. I've been wanting to stream. Let me make this clear. I have been wanting to stream like crazy. Okay? But there's been so many things going on. But yeah, TrapFest, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. This is the first stream with the new camera. I've been possibly annoying people by doing things like, if you're over on Twitch, I'm like, Sony, Logitech, Sony, Logitech, Sony, Logitech. Why don't you want to use a broken pencil? Because there's no point. Are you serious, Pagan? I got all A's this semester of college. Savor it. It probably won't happen again. Yo, Trav, stop talking about yourself. Okay, I'm trying to stream cheese and rice. People are so rude coming in here with wholesomeness. Yeah, you have an idea for Logitech camera. If you're willing, put it behind you and add a second angle of what you see while streaming. So Silverfire, I like your thinking. That is what I'm probably gonna do. It's just, I'm waiting for tomorrow because the Elgato Flex arm, I'll show you actually. It's not a baton or nunchucks. Probably looks like nunchucks. See? Yeah, see, Lucid. That was as skillful as your Mario Kart skills, annoyingly. This is a flex arm. So essentially you just tighten this to straighten it out. And I got this because I didn't read. I thought that it was going to come with a base, so then I can just connect it or mount it to the back of my desk. But doesn't. You have to buy a separate piece from Elgato called the Master Mount. So what this will do is this will allow me, because I can, if I loosen this enough, then these will come out. I can put multiple devices behind my computer or wherever I want. Like I can put it anywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna be able to have those multiple angles now. And if I take it a step further, like for YouTube and stuff, I can record from my phone. So I will have the Sony camera, I'll have the Logitech, I'll have my phone if I wanted to, but that's probably never gonna be for streams. So I'm excited. We've come a long way, people. And like I tweeted or posted on X a couple days ago, it wasn't expected, but I'm glad it's happened. This year, instead of it being about chasing milestones, it has turned into a year of growth. Like it is a year of what was the term I used? It was essentially it's kind of like how it's almost like I'm preparing for 2025 kind of thing, you know? Like I probably shouldn't use this as an example, but like Olympic athletes, you know, not me by any stretch of the term. They can't compete until 4 years, right? So they train for 4 years. Maybe there's some milestones that they can hit along the way, you know, hopefully annually, to keep them motivated. But other than that, there's lots of preparation. So I feel like this year has been a lot of preparation to set myself up, not only for content, but for life in general. Like I've been investing for the first time. I've been saving, still been reading. Getting sick derailed me with my walks. Like I was only able to walk one time last week because how sick I was. But I got my walk in yesterday, and it's been raining like crazy here, so I didn't get my walk in today. But I think a good rule of thumb is to at least be able to get my walk or run in at least 3 days a week. That's me being very very mild. Like I want to do it at least 4 days. But in a perfect world, I would like to do it Monday through Friday, like on the days that I'm working, at least, because it's so helpful. Because you do need to allow your body to rest. But I think I figured out why I got sick and no one else, and that is because I went to CVS a couple times, and I'm pretty sure that someone was sick, or multiple people were absolutely sick at CVS. Probably they're getting their flu shot or something, and that's what happened. My wife didn't get sick. My best friend didn't get sick. My family down in Charleston, no one got sick. I was the only one sick, and I was starting to feel gaslit a little bit. I'm like, someone's lying to me. Who's lying to me? Somebody's sick, okay? Somebody's sick, and they're just at the tail end of it, and they're not want to tell me that they got me sick. But I was like, nah, I think I got sick from like CVS. You're excited to start school, but not the process of moving across the country. Mrs. Panda, where are you going? Okay, so where do you currently live? You don't have to be too specific. I just want to try and gauge how far of a move this is. We're going to be moving in with my parents. We don't have to pay rent, so I can go back to school full time and not worry about money with a toddler. I am seeing that more and more often these days, is people living with their parents for so many different reasons. I mean, I've heard, I couldn't live with my mom. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you right now, I could not live with my mom. I love her to death. But no, oh my gosh. Wow, so TikTok just started alerting me saying that there's been too much inactivity on my TikTok stream. Okay. Let me just keep typing in the TikTok stream, because TikTok is so passive aggressive, saying, hey, too much inactivity. We are going to shut you down because we suck. You know what, TikTok? I hope you get shut down. I hope you don't sell to an American and you get banned. Okay? That's what I say to that. Anyways, but I saw something on the news, I think it was last year, that the cost of living has become so expensive because of inflation and the state of the economy, that there are couples, like married couples, who have officially separated but are living in the same household, and they have come to agreements, to some kind of mutual agreement, because they cannot afford to live on their own. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being broken up with your partner that you're married to, but you still got to see them every single day? As a matter of fact, they're probably still using your bathroom. Like that's rough. Maybe, depending on how healthy the relationship was or could be, if people see eye to eye and communicate better, maybe it'll rekindle the lost spark, if you will. But for those that are just trying to get out, man, that stinks. But for situations like Mrs. Panda, yeah, RC says, fortunately, I do not need to see my ex. That's a win for me. Yeah, that is a win. That is absolutely a win. And What's my opinion on married couples having separate bedrooms? I don't like that. The older I get, the more open-minded I tried to become, for the sake of learning, because I just like learning. I find people to be fascinating. But my personal principles, my personal morals, what my personal values are, whichever word resonates with you the most, I don't like that. As a matter of fact, we have a rule of thumb that if we get into an argument, we have to figure it out. We have to. And it drives me crazy. I'm the person that just, if it hits like 2 a.m. and we have not resolved things, I'm like, can we just table it till tomorrow? Can you just hate me till tomorrow? And she's like, no, we need to sort this out. I'm like, but we have to work tomorrow. She's like, you should have thought of that before we got into this argument. And I'm like, so we figured it out. And we live with the consequences the next day, you know. But we don't ever sleep apart. Like, if it's actually it's something that I've tried dancing with, like testing the water, so to speak, you know, depending on how severe an argument has gotten at times, or how much an argument has escalated. I'm like, she said, if you sleep on the couch, like, that's it, you know. Sleeping on the couch is the same thing as, you know, separating. And I'm like, come on, man, I just want to sleep. Should have thought of that before you got into this argument. It's like, so, to answer your question, no, I do not like the idea of having separate beds. And there's a lot of, we watched every single episode of the Couples Therapy show on Showtime. Loved it. I miss Orna. Orna, if you ever see this, please tell me there's a season 5 coming out next year. We've watched every season except season 2 of Love is Blind. We are currently watching Ultimatum on Netflix, and I love those shows. I love those shows so much because it's an indirect way of therapy for us, because we get to see all these people's different, like, situations. We have people that live separately that have put in an ultimatum saying, if we don't get married after 2 years of dating, like, come on, you know? And of course, these people, so I'm in my 30s. Some of you are also in your 30s. Some of you in your 40s or older. Some of you in your 20s. Some of you, if you're under your 20s or you haven't reached your 20s, don't tell me. Okay, I'm gonna have to get rid of you. But, you know, again, this is just my personal opinion, personal values, personal principles based on how I was raised. So take it with a grain of salt if you disagree. But it just kills me when I see these couples issuing these ultimatums, getting off, like, riled up and upset when they see their now exes dating somebody else that happens to check off all the boxes for what they've been looking for. Because of course, right? Netflix probably makes these people go through these very extensive questionnaires and interviews and all that to essentially try and find you your perfect match. But, you know, because why not? They kind of have to if you want to make it interesting. But what's really, you know, taking me off about the ultimatum, that's what I'm talking about right now, is a lot of these people cannot handle it. They literally quit in the middle of the season. They'll, like, secretly leave these fully paid for apartments or whatever, or condos that they're living in for 8 weeks and just go home. And I'm just like, yo, you wasted Netflix's time and money. You wasted our time and money. And because, like, you can't follow through the process. Like, there should be some kind of contract where it's like, look, at risk of it being illegal, you cannot leave until we're done shooting. You cannot leave. Okay? If you don't like it, don't sign up for it. Like, we used to watch a show called Temptation Island, but then we stopped because it was, like, we used to watch that in Love Island, but then it just got to a point where it's like, I think all we're doing is just watching people in bikinis and men that are just in their trunks and have more abs than I'll ever have, and a tan that is just so incredible that I just, not even my skin complexion can top it, you know. But anyways, circling back. So ultimatum. Yeah. I would never do it. I would never do ultimatum. I think you're an idiot. So if you go on ultimatum, you're an idiot. Just my opinion. Hot take. I don't care. Why? Because it is a messed up process for anyone that has watched Ultimatum. So let me just explain it in as simple and few words as possible. You sign up for Ultimatum. Like, if, say, you issued an ultimatum to your partner, you said either you go on the show with me, or we're getting divorced. Or not divorced, we're breaking up. Okay, so they agree. Go on the show. And you meet like 4 other couples, whatever. Let's say there's at least 5 couples. And in all the couples, there's one person that's issued an ultimatum. And after everyone's kind of introduced themselves to one another, the first week, you're dating. So you officially break up with your current partner, and you start dating the other people's partners. And after the week is done, you have to make a decision on who you're going to spend the next 3 weeks with, living together. So it's almost like a hall pass for the men out there. For the women, it is a chance for you to find your person. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be there, right? But the first 3 weeks after you've chosen your partner, you will live with that person. And I don't know what kind of conversations these people have, but you're technically broken up. So there's this like unspoken rule where these people have to, they should not cheat on their partner. I'm finger quoting because you're technically broken up, right? And you shouldn't do all these things, but it's like, if you're already here, in my opinion, you need to live in the moment, and you need to embrace that to the fullest. Like you need to really trust the process. And after those 3 weeks, if you haven't already, well, actually you don't have a choice. After those 3 weeks are done, you then go back to your original partner that you came onto the show with, and you live with them for 3 weeks. So imagine that. Imagine living with your partner again after 3 weeks of living with someone else. And it's probably like night and day as far as what you're noticing. And you can only hope that the partner that you were with, like your trial marriage, they call it a trial marriage. You can only hope, if you were the person that issued the ultimatum. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Because sometimes you'll see people that issue the ultimatum that end up finding someone on the show. But then you have people that were brought onto the show because of the ultimatum, and then they break up and they go with someone else, So it's like, you kind of ask for it. I don't know. It's messed up. I would never do it. I would never do ultimatum. And then you have to make a decision at the end if you're going to get married or not. Yeah. Yes. And Sweezel, welcome in. Good to see you. What do you think of the camera? This is temporary angle right now, but yeah, giving ultimatum is counterproductive. Oh yeah, so 2 years. A lot of these people, they're in their early 20s. Like there's this one girl in the latest season, she's 24, and she's like, I know what I want, and I want to be with my man. She's with this guy named Caleb, who is 29, and for the most part, he looks kind of emotionless. Hopefully, whatever I'm saying isn't considered a spoiler, so I'm going to try and think before I let it out. But because I would love for y'all to watch it. As a matter of fact, as a community, for those of you that are into those types of shows, watch Love is Blind, watch Ultimatum. Let's talk about it, because I love talking about people, and it's so interesting. It's so interesting, and I know that there's always going to be a certain level of acting, right, to spice things up, but still, it's same thing with Love is Blind. me not ever charging my watch. People are fascinating. They just really are. Yeah, 2 years. She's like 24. She issued the ultimatum to her partner named Caleb, who's 29. And get this, Caleb, he's like, listen, I admire that you feel that you truly know what you want, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you have not lived enough life yet to truly say that I know this is what I want. And he can never know for sure because he's not her. And she can never truly know until just time has passed. You know, like if another 5 years goes by and she still feels exactly how she felt at 24, then yeah, she was right and everyone else is wrong. But more than likely things are going to change. But what's interesting is I feel like... Okay, never mind. I think I almost said something spoilery. So what I will say is... Try not to get too attached to these people, man. There are people that I start rooting for. I'll be like, yo, especially if the person came onto the show, they issued the ultimatum, and then they found someone else that is checking all their boxes. I love to see that, because then their ex or their partner that they brought into the show, that they were dragged to the show with, starts like freaking out, right? They're like, what? You never looked at me like that. You never shared that secret with me. We never experienced that together. You know, like they start like, well, you remember? Like we have history. You only known that guy for like 2 days. What do you mean he's the one? You know, I love it. It's Pagan. Yes, I'm looking. Oh yeah, it's and then Love is Blind. Love is Blind is so good because, you know, there are success stories. Love is Blind is actually creating success stories. Now the show is still young. I know that there's 5 or 6 seasons or something, but it's still only been around for a few years. I think they've been averaging almost 2 seasons a year. And yo, Love is Blind is where it's at, man, because the beginning of the show is the best part, in my opinion. But what I love about the show overall is that they go from start to finish. So if you have not watched Love is Blind, the first week, you are getting to know people blindly. You go into these pods and you just get to know each other. Everyone has notebooks and tries to write down who they like, who they don't like, or what they like about these people, what they don't like, and stuff like that. And so you just get to see probably the most organic form of human interactions that you could possibly witness in today's times. And then when they have decided who they want to try and, you know, marry, they'll propose still blindly, and then they'll see each other. They'll finally get to see each other when they go to put the ring on. And I love those moments. I love those moments of just seeing how these people react. You know, like, are they going to live up to the expectations that you put in your head? You know, and then when most shows would probably end, they take it a step further. Love is Blind will then let them go on a honeymoon. Let them enjoy the good times, right? And then other shows will probably be done, for sure, okay? But Love is Blind is not done. Now, when their honeymoons are done, they live with each other. I don't remember how long they live with each other, but after that, then they eventually have to make a decision on if they're going to get married. So that's what I love about Love is Blind so much, is I truly feel like, Pagan, have a great night. It's 4 a.m. cheese and rice. Good night. I can't even make it to 4 a.m. I do not have it in me to stay up till 4 a.m. The only way I could be awake at 4 a.m. is if I woke up in the middle of the night and it was 4 a.m. But I don't. In my 20s, different story. But in my 30s, I'm like, why?
Why are people awake at 4 a.m.? What do you mean that's when they're just now waking up so that they can go run 5 miles and drink straight egg yolk?
Okay, so maybe that's the reason why I can't make it to 4 a.m., okay? Because I made it to 2 a.m. But listen, okay? Listen. That's when I get the most work done, is at that time of night. Have a great night, Bacon. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You said 4 a.m. is nothing. You usually still up. Yo, that's crazy. 4 weeks. Okay, 4 weeks. That's even better. That's even better. That's still a full month. And then during that process, these couples will not only live together, but they get to meet everybody's friends and family. So there's just so much that can go wrong. And then the last piece of it, which I know is always because it's entertainment. So because it's a show, they have to do this. Everybody drinks. And now that I think I'm 2 days I might be 2 days away from 3 years? No way. Yeah. I think in 2 days from the time of this stream, because I'm not recording, it'll be 3 years since I've stopped drinking. Nice. Anyways, I don't actually count the days, but I just remember that date because I don't need a badge, like that's the one area where as much as I love rewards or accolades and stuff, it's like I don't care. I just care about being in control as much as possible of my life and my health. But the longer I go not drinking, and if you drink, I hope I'm not making you feel insecure or judged or anything. Let me make this clear. Drinking is fine as long as it's in moderation. As long as you don't have a health condition that literally says if you drink you'll die. Moderation. That is the key for everything else. Unless it's just hardcore, like awful for you. But yeah, drink in moderation. Especially the older you get. I'm telling you. I think when we're in our 20s, we definitely feel like we're invincible. But then when you hit 30s, it is not a joke. There is something that happens with our biological clocks where you will feel the effects of being 30, okay? But the longer I go not drinking, the more I feel like my clarity increases, my awareness of how people behave when they drink. For example, my mother, she drinks every day. And it's been that way probably since before I was born. And if that's not the case, then it definitely became like that over the last 20 years. Now, she drinks wine. She doesn't drink liquor, but still, she drinks every day. She tried to quit a little while ago, but when she had a dental surgery, and then she tried to just have it to weekends, but I don't know. All I know is that whenever I'm around her, she's drinking, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I don't know. The only time I guess I would know... Actually, I don't know. I don't think I know how it is to be around my mom when she's completely sober. Like, for someone like her who drinks wine every day, she's probably thinking she's sober from the moment she wakes up to the time she gets home before she pours her first glass. But that's not the case. Alcohol stays in your system at least 24 hours. So if you're drinking every day, yeah, you may have sobered up. There's a term I learned, I think earlier this year, called functional alcoholism or whatever. Like I guess I would have been considered a functional alcoholic, meaning I could drink, whiskey every night, like it, almost like how people would have wine with their meals. I would have like a glass of whiskey, and Coke. I don't drink whiskey straight unless it's a shot, but it would have been whiskey and Coke with my drinks, with my food, with my dinner, and to take the edge off or whatever. But it got to a point where I didn't know how to go a full day without not having alcohol, and it was a silent realization, because I remember, like I said, the last bottle I finished, it was a Saturday night in December of 2021, and I remember thinking, liquor stores are closed on Sundays. Core Community's heard the story a dozen times, but for anyone new here, liquor stores close on Sundays here where I live, so I'm gonna have to wait till Monday. And I remember having the thought, how am I gonna make it? And that was all I needed. That and Unicorn had stopped 6 months prior, and I was feeling pretty guilty about still continuing to do it. She kept telling me that she was fine with it, and even if she's telling the truth, I know if the roles were reversed, it would be hard for me. It'd be hard for me, especially on those days where it's just like, it feels like the lows are outweighing the highs. And it's like, it's right there. So now when I go down to Charleston and I see my friends and family, all of my friends and family drink. And it's a great test to truly see like how Unicorn and I are around people that are drinking. But what I realized, especially after this latest trip, is that I don't get to hang out with any of these people when they're completely sober. They're always drinking. Some drink wine, some drink liquor, some smoke cigarettes and drink beer and take shots of liquor, and it sucks because arguments happen. People say stupid like all the time. And I will tell you, almost every horrific story that you've heard of, either through documentaries or on the news or your friends and family or car crashes or horrible murders and things like that, a lot of it has to do with drinking. Like alcohol is part of it. And I don't care. People just need to smoke more. Like smoke more CBD, whatever is legal, smoke flower, or just smoke, unless you have asthma or something, don't do that. But like, I mean, Snoop Dogg, right? He's chill for a reason. Just imagine all the people that, like, think about all the times you've witnessed people get into arguments and that they're drinking and it's a large gathering, and I'm just thinking, I wonder how these people would be if they just smoked. Like if Snoop Dogg just showed up to your place, right? And he's like, hey, let me show you how to roll a blunt. And how fast he does it? He did it on Kai's stream. What was it, like 7 seconds? I don't know, 7-8 seconds. But like, just imagine if more people just smoked instead. For those that don't have any respiratory conditions and it's legal where you're at, okay? And again, moderation. So if you drink responsibly. If you smoke responsibly. If you do other things, stop it. Or just do it responsibly. But the thing is, like, Sal, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'd much rather just chill and smoke, watch some trash reality most nights. The thing is, now, I will say, when people drink, it's far more entertaining. Like if you're watching a TV show or movies and stuff like that, than it is if people smoke. I think if everyone was just smoking, it probably would be boring to watch for those that definitely don't smoke, because everyone's just chill, right? They're just like, they're leaning back. Like, oh man. And they're just talking about life, you know. They're unlocking the secrets to life. They are figuring things out. But yeah, so you tried a game on Under the Influence gummies. Everything was way too funny. Okay, now gummies. Listen. You got to be careful with gummies, because they will just knock you out. Because like, you're thinking, oh, look at this little gummy bear, right? And they're like, you probably should just eat half. And it's like, I'm not no wuss, you know. I'm not no. So you eat the whole thing, and you wake up 24 hours later. It's not that bad, but it's more like, make sure you have set yourself up to, you know, when you wake up, the world's not on fire, right? At least not your world. But yeah, you know, but every time I've been around a large gathering, if everyone's drinking, there's some kind of argument that happens, and a lot of the times, it's the people that are drunk because they have no filter anymore, right? You're too inebriated to be able to control yourself, and depending on how mature you were before you started drinking, that could be a recipe for disaster. So I would love to be able to talk to my mom when she's completely sober. Like I'm talking at least a week with no alcohol in her system, just to see how she is. Maybe not the first week. She probably might have the shakes or something. I know how withdrawals are. So let's say a month. You gone 30 days, no alcohol. I would love to see how she is. But circling back to the Love is Blind shows and Ultimatum and stuff like that, there's always, every time they have an event where everyone's gathering together, of course there's always video editing involved, so they're just going to show you the juicy stuff, but there's always drama. Always. And I always think, I wonder how much drama there would be if people smoked instead of drank. You know, go to a hookah bar or something. I've never tried hookah, but I know people do that. Like, go to a hookah bar. It'd probably be boring to watch. It would be boring to watch, and there'd be no drama because everyone's just chilling, you know? And I will say that I'm going to give props to the newer generation. The Zoomers and Alpha. Like, I am noticing Gen Z and Gen A, they are they're increasing. More and more of them are living the life of sobriety. Now, before I blow their heads up too much, they have a different challenge. Every generation has their own set of challenges. So aside from their entire lives being documented now, fentanyl. Fentanyl is the biggest challenge that the newer generations have to deal with. So spread awareness on that. Try and get these kids to not be taking fentanyl. I mean, I would see on the news about schools having to get these vending machines that are set up as if you're like it's a snack machine or a drink machine, but it's actually I'm trying to remember what the medicine is that helps people survive a possible overdose, you know? Narcan. Thank you. That's crazy, right? Never heard of Narcan in my life until like 2 years ago, I think. And yo, Don, see? Yeah, all right. So for anyone that's new here, Don is my best friend. First friend I ever made. And the longest relationship I've had. Okay, people should be jealous. That is one thing I'm blessed about. Because like we met in 4th grade. Oh, okay. I just freaked out, chat. My mom just texted me. I thought for some strange reason she had tuned into the stream or something. She doesn't do that. She doesn't watch my streams, but like if my little brother decided to just pull up stream and I'm just mentioning that stuff, I'm not ready to deal with that fallout. You know, I talk openly like this because of how separated she's been from this world. There's always a risk though. There's always a risk. Any stream, any day, any time, there's a chance. But I'm usually not talking about her a whole lot. And she could be drinking right now. She could have had 1 or 2 glasses of wine in her system already. So if she saw me saying the stuff I was saying, I'd be like, like, yeah. But yeah. So the newer generation, circling back, has to deal with fentanyl. She sent me another text. But it has to do with my Christmas gift. So I'm saying all these things. So I could be painting a picture that's slightly skewed. Right now, I have a very good relationship with her, but it could be better. Bottom line is, it could be better. You know, I've had to deal with some stuff. You know, the whole like dynamic of in-laws from both sides, and anyone who's married understands the risks or the potential challenges you have with in-laws, and but then also she's not my only living parent. My dad is out there and he still lives in Charleston, but I don't have a relationship with him. And at this point, I think in the very back of my head, I'll always feel some type of way about it, but I've lived most of my life without him being actively a part of it for more than just a couple months or something. So I feel like it's actually more hassle, as messed up as it is. It's more hassle for me to try to rekindle that relationship and then maintain it and then figure out where it goes from here. Not saying I'm close to it. If he reaches out to me, you know, I'll absolutely give it a shot, but he has not reached out to me. My uncle tries to get me to reach out to him, and I guess maybe I'm more like him than I realize, because I don't have that interest anymore in trying to establish a relationship with him. And I don't know what his situation is, but you know, I was raised by my mom, so and now she's living alone. She's not married. She lives with my brother, so it's just her and my brother living on a metaphorical island. But I want to see her healthy. She doesn't have health insurance, and she'll just preach to me all the time about how she's like, you'll be proud. She's like, and she's only 5'2". She's like, I weigh 119 pounds, and I noticed like, she's like, the most I ever weighed was like 140 some pounds. And that was when I was drinking a lot more. And then when I stopped drinking, I dropped the weight, and now I only drink moderately or whatever. And it kills me because she looks so brittle. She does not exercise. The only exercise is just the physical exertion or the physical effort to leave the home and drive to an office and then come back home. And then maybe like house chores. Other than that, she doesn't exercise. She doesn't have health insurance, and she's still drinking. And again, I'm like her, and like my dad probably, where, you know, if you tell me that I need to do this, or if you're trying to force me to do something, or you're trying to project something on me, I'm not going to want to do it. I have to come to this conclusion on my own. So if you want me to do something, be strategic about it, okay? If you don't know how to do that, start learning psychology. Figure out how I tick, and get creative. Get creative on how to talk to me if you want me to do something specific, okay? Is it fair? No. but I'm trying to save you some headache. Okay, I promise you. It's just how I'm wired. And I'm not saying I'm not trying to change, but I'm saying you still need to do that. Just okay. So if you want me to do something, get creative on how to approach me with it. Okay, plant the seed in my head. Make me feel like I came up with this idea on my own. Okay, do it. And I know I'm not the only person like that. I know there's a lot of other people like that. Nina, welcome in. Thank you so much for tuning in on TikTok. Appreciate you. I hope you're doing well. It's not on the child to reach out. Thank you, Jazzy. Thank you. It's entirely up to you in your own comfort. You're not obligated to give your energy, time, and heart to someone who does not give it to you. Thank you. And this is my core community. I don't care what I disclose, but yes, use reverse psychology on me, okay? But get creative, because I know what reverse psychology is. So you can't be surface level. You got to think outside the box. I'm gonna know if you're doing reverse psychology. So yes, things just got more difficult. But if you can crack the code, you'll survive. You'll thrive. And maybe my life will improve a little bit. But when I was trying to nurture my newly formed relationship with my father when I was 21, because he dodged child support most of my life, he got pulled one day at a checkpoint and was arrested. And thank God, or whatever is out there, that he was in contact with me, because I was so naive and, didn't want my relationship building to end with him because he's behind bars. So he calls me from the jail and asked me to reach out to my mom and ask her to write a letter to the courts that effectively absolves him of having to pay any child support. And I did that. And if I could go back in time, I would not have done that. Because now that I think about it, I don't think I've talked to him more than once or twice since then. And that was 13 years ago. So he got out of paying for child support for 18 years. He's probably paid less than a year's worth of child support. Mom raised me and 2 other kids on her own. She got married in 2005 or 6, and was married for 16 years. But by that time, I was about to start high school. So, my stepdad at the time didn't show up till close to high school. And so at that point, it was like a whole mutual respect of, there's a new man in the house and he's older than me and can pay the bills and I can't, so whatever. But he never crossed the line. Like, he always made sure to, if he had an issue with me, he'd talk to my mom, which in turn I would get all, because, us men being all masculine would get pissed off, be like, if he has an issue with me, he needs to talk to me in my face. But really, I give him this respect, even though he's no longer in the picture. He always knew that because we weren't his kids, he wasn't going to cross that line. He did a very good job of never crossing the boundary, of trying to raise us how he wanted to raise us, especially at that point in our lives. And, and he respected my mom. That was, to me, the ultimate form of, or the most obvious form of respect in my eyes, in my opinion, that he had towards my mom, was never crossing that line. And that demand avoidant thing is very common, especially among neurodivergent folks. You are absolutely not alone. So I'm telling you, man, this is a site for Narcan training. Some states provide a free Narcan kit once completed. Really? That's a big deal. It's my money I want it now. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so my dad got out of paying child support, got out of jail because of me. And my mom loved me so much, and she loves me so much, that she did it. She wrote a letter saying she absolved him of all child support, because she didn't care anymore. Again, she was remarried and she doesn't want to have to deal with him more than she had to, and I don't blame her. So I knew it was bothering her that I was even talking to him, but she knew now that I was 18, she couldn't technically tell me how to live my life, especially if I have genuine interest and curiosity on, about the other family that I have. So where's I going with this? I don't remember anymore. But thanks to him for not being around, he set the bar so low that should I be blessed with a little wizard or a little unicorn, then all I have to do is just stick around. I just have to be there. I just have to exist, and I'm already better father than my dad will ever be. And even if my dad, let's say, he left me money, like he was secretly hoarding his money to allocate it to me and my half brother and whoever else might be out there, because I don't know. It would not absolve him of his absence in my life. And I don't know. It's that means that I have mommy issues. Okay, I've learned that now. I've learned that through astrology. I've learned that through the philosophy books and the psychology books I've been reading, and documentaries. And I have mommy issues in the sense of growing up. I don't know if Dawn is still here or not, but Dawn and my other friend, we'll call him Andy, both families had, in my eyes, a stable household, which meant that they had both parents, and these parents were doing well enough to not only raise them in their homes most of their lives, but they were able to enroll them into sports, enroll them into extracurricular things, or get to take them on vacation, like going on cruises or Disney World or Universal Studios or Busch Gardens or traveling to different countries. I never got to do any of that. Still to this day, I've never been on a cruise. I've never traveled outside of this country. I've barely traveled in the United States. My biggest form of travel was when I moved all the way to California. That was only for a few months though. So I got to see a lot of America from that route, from Charleston to Covina, California. But aside from that, there's a lot of traveling there's a lot of things that I wish I got to experience growing up. And don't get me wrong, I know that there's always a situation where it feels like the grass is greener on the other side. Not every family out there that has both parents is a stable household. Not every kid or kids that were raised by both parents come out as better people. Unfortunately, you hear lots of stories, and it will never end, of domestic violence or abusive parents towards their spouses or kids, or they're in jail, or they do drugs and stuff like that, and or they're so strict that because of what they didn't get to do in their lives, they're projecting their goals onto you. We'll just use the Tiger Woods story. Tiger Woods' father wanted Tiger Woods to become an expert golf player, and he did. He's become an expert golf player. Obviously, he's one of the biggest in the world. Won lots of tournaments and accolades, all that stuff. But, who's to say Tiger Woods would have truly loved golf as much as he does now if he wasn't immediately exposed to it as soon as he was old enough to hold a golf club? So it just makes you wonder. So fortunately, Unicorn and I's philosophies line up pretty well, meaning we are absolutely going to encourage our potential kid or kids in the future to be curious about things and try different things, and don't try to walk my path, don't try to walk Unicorn's path unless you truly want to. And you gotta walk your own path. And I don't care what the kid or kids, same thing with unicorn, we don't care what they'll believe in or choose to not believe in. All we care about is instilling our morals and values into them, meaning practice just being a decent person. And what does that mean? The golden rule that most of us learned, in elementary school. Treat others how you want to be treated. If you want to be respected, treat others with respect. If you want to be loved, treat others with love. If you want things, you need to give. Okay? Don't just take. Don't project. Don't ridicule others or condemn them for their beliefs. And just don't. There's so many things. I'm excited at the potential chance of one day, possibly, because I don't know. This is completely up to either what God has in plan or the universe, whatever's out there, whether there's a little unicorn, a little wizard, or both. But if we're given that opportunity, they're not going to be. And I know that every person that doesn't have kids probably talks like I do, in a sense of making it seem like, oh, it's super easy to just list all these things of what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, right? Until you have the kid and then everything changes. Okay. So that's true. I'll be open-minded enough to admit that it might not be as black and white or as easy as I'm making it sound. But that's what I will strive to do. And they're not going to be these people that, in my opinion, feel like the world owes them. Because personally, I cannot stand that. I cannot stand people that are constantly feeling entitled. I feel like most people probably don't like that, but a lot of the times, a lot of these people don't even realize that they're entitled to themselves. Maybe we're all entitled to a certain extent, but I'm talking about the extreme cases. The extreme cases where, you've not ever worked a day in your life and you're in your 20s, or you just, sorry, I'm trying to filter a little bit what I'm saying. I don't like people that feel like everyone else should take care of them. I don't like people that essentially act like they're mindless zombies. But it's not as obvious as that description. They're not like walking around like, human meat. They're not acting like that. But what they're acting like, in my opinion, based on my observations, is that they can't think for themselves, right? They can't ever connect the dots. They can't put two and two together. They don't know how to deconstruct things. They don't know how to construct things. Everything that comes out of their mouths is thoughts of other people. Like maybe all they're saying are things that they've read online. Like they're just an echo chamber of what you're seeing on social media. Like it's just, do they even know who they are, right? Or people that, I don't know. You got to live life, man. You got to. Forrest, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here on Twitch. Caitlin, welcome in. Thank you. Hydration. Yes. Let me do that. A lot of kids, teens these days are entitled due to the parents not making them do things for themselves. Yes. So, refresh my memory. What is a helicopter mom? My understanding of a helicopter mom is one that is constantly like overseeing everything in that child's life. Like they're not allowed to do anything, without their parents being involved. You said you used to be one? That's incredibly mindful and mature of you to not only catch that, but being willing to share that in a public space. Helicopter mom hovers over the children. Okay. You realize and step back. So for my parents out there, little Brit, especially, do you feel personally that this is becoming a more and more common practice, or are you seeing, or do you think it's changing, or does it seem like it's not really changing enough? Like it just seems like it's still the same. You know, 'cause I feel like it's becoming, or it's almost like one extreme or the other that I see more often than not. I'll either see the overbearing parents, just constantly controlling every decision that these kids make in their lives, even up to the point where they're in college and they don't know what to do anymore, now that their mommy and daddy aren't there to wipe their butts and feed them food on a silver platter with golden spoons, but in their Teslas and rocking the iPhone 30, they're either that or they're completely absent, is what I would see more often than not. Just my observation. Like, especially if you watch a documentary or something, you're like, oh yeah, these kids did this or that. It's like, well, where was the parents? How were they able to be gone for like 3 or 4 days at a time and their parents not immediately report them as missing or hunt them down or ground them, you know, or how did they let their child do this or that? And at the end of the day, we're not living those lives, so we'll never know the full truth. We only know what's been shared in these documentaries, and if the documentary's not done well, then it can paint a picture that is very biased. But I feel like documentaries these days are doing more and more of a good job of trying to showcase both sides. Once again, I have to... What do I have to do? I gotta... Well, let me start typing in TikTok again, because it's just like, hey, inactive. A lot of, I was extremely protective. I still am, but I let them make their own mistakes now instead of trying to save them or preventing something happening to them. My cousin, who my parents raised since she was 10, is a helicopter mom. Her kids are 18 and 16. She still cuts their meat for them, does their laundry for them, and so much more. Oh no! Silverfire, that is a great example. Great example. That is 100% a helicopter mom. Ugh. That kills me. That kills me. 16 and 18. How far have we gotten in Echo so far? So I haven't played. I think we're a little past halfway. I'm not, if it's not obvious, I'm not really gaming tonight. Tonight was just about kind of chit-chatting with you all and testing out the camera, and I'm pretty happy with this. But it's cool. Like I'm gonna have so much more freedom now with this camera. I'm not stuck with the Logitech that has to be connected to the computer. I could disconnect and I could stream from the camera directly if I wanted to. I can connect to it remotely with my phone, so I could position this camera downstairs if I wanted to have a puppy cam or something, and then y'all can get back to our wonderful Logitech. Sony. Logitech. Sony. If you're on TikTok, you're like, all I see is Sony. Logitech. Sony. But you love the catch up Drake style? 18-year-old is off at college and still comes home almost every weekend to have her laundry done. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Those are the types of people that have to find a partner in life that will effectively become their parents. Like, they're going to find someone that will be just like their mom. Just psychology typically proves it. For better or for worse. I work in urgent care and I have moms who come in with their 20-year-old children and check them in for urgent care, and while I'm trying to ask their child what is wrong, they're answering me. Yeah, that bothers me too. Because we've seen those stories too about parents that this is very extreme, but like those parents that will, they're so, I don't think I understand fully why they do what they do. I think it has to do with just them always feeling like their child will need them, but those parents that will lie about their children's health conditions and purposely make them take medication that they shouldn't be taking anymore, like if they were sick and or if they had a condition when they were young but they actually grew out of it, but the kid doesn't know it and the parent secretly knows it, and so they just keep feeding them that medication. Munchausen by proxy, is that what that's called? And I apologize if I butchered that. I think I've seen that phrase once or twice in my life. It's messed up. So yeah, like Gypsy Rose. Gypsy Rose is the biggest example. And now Gypsy Rose's situation, if you don't know how that played out, she ended up taking her mom out. And she's in jail for it. And it's just, this is where things get interesting, because the reality of life, the sooner you realize this, if you haven't already, the better. The reality of life is that life is not black and white. The only black and white thing about life is that death is inevitable. Like, you will eventually die. Not telling you to be depressed about it, not telling you to become paranoid and constantly think about that, but it's just like we all have a finite amount of time in our lives, and everything else is much more complex than we try to ignore. Like I think just based on our brains, how we're wired, we want to try and rationalize things as much as possible. So we'll try and simplify things as much as possible so it makes sense to us. But the reality is, life is not black and white. So the Gypsy Rose situation is, in my opinion, an interesting one. It's like, what would you do if you were in Gypsy Rose's situation? You know, because people might be like, oh, you know, I can never do that. I can never take a life, or I couldn't do what she did. And I'm not saying that her choice was the only one that she could have taken. But what I am saying, admittedly, is that I understand. I can see Gypsy Rose's perspective and why she will have resorted to that. And I can't deny that if I was in Gypsy's situation, who knows? Maybe I would have done the same, maybe not. Thankfully, I'm not and will never be in that situation, so I can leave it to my imagination. But, you know, the law is very straightforward about, you know, when you take a life, then you go to jail, especially if it's your parents. But what do you do, right? Just for the sake of conversation, what do you do if you are spending all your life thinking that you are experiencing all these different types of chronic illnesses and conditions, and just watching your life unfold as if you're just sitting there on the sidelines, constantly just taking medicine and not even really getting to go outside and being wheelchair bound and all this stuff? And I don't know, you know, everybody's limits are different. Everyone has different set of morals, values, principles, boundaries. Culture plays a part, and that's what I mean by complexity. So it's not black and white. It never will be. There's so many factors that go into it that we're not even fully aware of. So Superfire says, so here's my psychological thoughts about my cousin. She was abused by her parents, which is why she came to live with us. I believe she's trying to still show them the love that she didn't get at an early age in life, but she takes it too far. It's tough. That's tough. How is she doing? now that she's living with y'all? Do you see improvements? Your friend's cousin is a 32-year-old man who still lives at home and his mom still does the laundry. And then there was a documentary that came out, I think earlier this year. If not, it was late last year, about this family in Florida. There were twins. These twin guys, they had everything going for them. I may have talked about this once before. They had parents that were well off. I think the mom worked from home. Don't remember what she did, but the father was either a neurosurgeon or some kind of doctor that was making a lot of money. And so they had the stereotypical, white family, traditional home, American home life growing up. Like, they lived on a farm. Well, I wouldn't even say a farm. They lived on a plot of land somewhere in Florida. But they were given everything, and they got to go to college without ever really having to work, and they were both following in their father's footsteps to become doctors, but I think they were going to become nurses. And then one of the twins wasn't doing as well as the other. The other twin was very social, was like a social butterfly, very charismatic. Everyone loved him, and he excelled in his grades, and he was getting all these job opportunities. But then the other twin wasn't doing as well and got into some trouble while they were still in school getting their degree. They eventually got kicked out of the program. They lost their nursing license or medical license or whatever and started spiraling. Met some Kim girl online and started talking to her long distance and using his parents' money, spending over $300,000 on this person who he never met, by the way, and ended up killing his whole family. I'm sorry how graphic that is, but it's a true story and you need to be aware of it. It's messed up. He killed his whole family. He killed his parents and his brother. And his brother, I think the last big thing he did for him, his twin brother who was successful, saw how depressed he was after he lost his license, paid for a trip to Tokyo, Japan. Or I think not just Tokyo, paid for a trip to Japan, took him to Japan because that was his big goal. He was like many of us. He was a weeb, and he was into video gaming. I think he even streamed on Twitch. So I was getting a little nervous when I was watching this documentary at first. I was starting to see some parallels, minus the whole stable. You saw that documentary, so Jessica knows what I'm talking about. If you remember the name of that documentary, can you share it in the TikTok chat, and I'll put it in the Twitch chat. It's a very good documentary. I think it was on the Peacock app. If I'm not mistaken, but for the life of me, I couldn't imagine. Now they said that the dad was abusive, very strict or whatever. I just still personally don't think there was enough justification for him to do what he did. Like, not only did he end his family's life, now he had another brother. For whatever reason, they did not talk about the brother until almost the very end. He had another brother that moved out. He was the oldest, and he separated from the family. So just imagine separating from the family and then coming to find out that your whole family died, and it was because of your brother that you were not in touch with anymore. It's like, are you kidding me? It was incredibly messed up, incredibly. And so it's not for the faint of heart, but you gotta be woke. You gotta know what's going on out there. You gotta be aware of these things, because you gotta learn. The best thing you can do is try to learn from others. You still have to live your own life, and you don't want to blindly follow anyone's advice. Not mine, not your parents, not your friends. Take the advice that you're given, process it, and then make a decision, a well-informed decision on how you want to move forward with that. But he had everything. He had everything going for him. Didn't have to work. And he was put into a psychiatric facility shortly before he decided to end his family. So they did everything on paper that I could think of. They took they took away his games, they took away the computer, they took away his debit cards, like they took away everything as if he was a child, which he was. He was a grown child in his 30s. I think he was almost the same exact age as me too. Maybe a year or two off, but that was another what I would consider parallel. But he I don't know. I guess the moral of the story with that is that even if you have both parents and they are doing well enough financially to offer you opportunities that, you know, the poor and middle class may not have access to, for the most part, you could be well educated, you could have both parents, you could not have to fight for anything in your life and still turn out to be incredibly messed up. And so he's gonna have to live with that for the rest of his life. He's still in jail, and as far as I know, he is never going to see the light of day except in a prison yard. But yeah, money doesn't buy sanity. Okay, so yeah, my voice isn't 100% back just yet, but this is the best it's been. So like, if I got to stream on Saturday, in all honesty, it wasn't going to be a long stream because I still couldn't talk that well, but it had been so long I hadn't been able to stream since before Thanksgiving break. And then I've had this camera for so long, I've been really wanting to test it out. You know, there's only so much I can record here at home before I'm just like, I just want to see how this runs. I'm technically not using a dummy battery yet because the dummy battery I bought wasn't the right size. It was for the first ZV E10. It wasn't for the second one. And the second one, the dummy battery by Sony is $135, and I will tell you that is straight up robbery. You are not going to make me pay $135 just so I can fake charging the camera. Like, no, I'll just buy more lithium ion batteries if I destroy this one prematurely. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. That's probably can't parent an adult. You were supposed to do all the work, all of that work and teaching. Now, the most messed up thing, Angel, was what he did to his mom. I have to share this. Jessica knows what I'm about to say. When he ended his mom's life, I will be as censored as I can. He did it point blank while she was just sitting at her desk playing Candy Crush. And it gets worse. We find out in the documentary. So I know I'm disclosing a lot, so you're like, maybe we don't need to watch the documentary. You still need to watch it. There's still a lot of things. I mean, it was like, I think 3 episodes, right? The mom was going behind the father's back and still giving him a cell phone so that he can call that cam girl that he had spent over $200,000 or $300,000 on over the years, because of how depressed he was when he was locked away in a facility. I think he was supposed to be there for like 2 months, and he got out after 2 weeks because he just kept complaining. So the mom, till her last day, still only cared about his happiness. Completely ignored all of the red flags that anyone outside of that family or outside of that household would have seen or had been seeing. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Britt. People know how to parent. It's all about fake it till you become it. Okay. Fake it till you become it. A lot of us forget that, you know, our parents are just like you and I. You know, they're like you and I, and they ended up having kids, and then they were forced to grow up. Now, sometimes people get to plan it out, but most of the time, It's not planned out. Yo, M. Dot, thank you so much for subscribing at tier 1 now for 2 months in advance. That's what I'm talking about. My voice is starting to trail away. Like I don't think I have my full range back just yet. But you're on a 10-month streak. Thank you. And that's okay, Destiny. That's okay. Even if the kids don't appreciate it now, as they get older, they'll finally learn to appreciate it. And if they don't, then, you know, that's their problem to deal with. And unfortunately, you know, it just sucks. But don't overdo it on the voice or you'll be struggling tomorrow. Yeah. I'm trying not to. That's Sella. Thank you so much, by the way, for resubscribing for 12 months now at tier 1. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. I appreciate you. But yeah, Jessica, I'm the same way. I can't understand people. And I will say that the longer I go without having any kids, the more I learn, the more I grow as a person, and in every way that I can possibly grow. And I would be excited, like for a little wizard, a little unicorn, or both. They're gonna be so blessed, not in a sense of, oh, they're being given the world, but in a sense of, we're gonna work very hard on giving them opportunities to find themselves and to grow into their own people sooner rather than later. And to be independent. I think everybody needs to know how to be independent. I think codependency is a problem and it needs to be addressed. And if you don't know what codependency is, Google it, learn more about it, identify the codependencies situations that you might be exposed to in your lives, and decide if that is something you still want to deal with or if it's something that you want to try and change. Because there's nothing worse, in my opinion, just based on my own values, than feeling like you can never truly fly. Now, I'm not saying fly solo. I'm just saying like you're like my brother, or you're in a relationship where you just can never do anything on your own. You always have to do it with your partner. And at times it can be like romantic and cute and whatnot, but there are certain times where it's just like, okay, this is ridiculous. You should be able to do this on your own, and it's not me being mean by saying that, or at least I'm not trying to be mean. It's just like, it's, if like, I don't know. Like if you need to do something and I don't have to truly be part of it, do it, but at the same time, you don't want to become too independent to where now it's like you're living in a partnership, if that makes sense. Like my definition of a partnership is just like two adults kind of living under the same household, or just making an agreement to live life together, but like experience life together, and that's it. It's like there's no romance involved. Like there's no there we go, that's better. It's that's not the life I want to live, and I don't think most people do that. Yo, Dreddy Bear, what do you think? I don't know how long you've been here. Thank you so much for resubscribing at tier 1. What do you think of the camera? This isn't even the best setting, but it is, in my opinion, the best setting for streaming. Okay, Dreddy Bear, watch this. Chad has had to deal with this a dozen times already. He said, like, please. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do the thing. Okay, are you ready? You ready for this, Dreddy Bear? Ready? Logitech. Sony. Logitech. Sony. All right, for my TikTok fam, let me do it over there. Logitech. Sony. Logitech. Sony. Like it's probably the other way around. Right? Unicorn found this, man. Unicorn found this camera. It's brand new. Came out this year. Thank you. Blind as a bat, though. No matter how effed up your upbringing is, I cannot fathom doing that. And that's what it's all about. Exactly. And okay. All right, people. Is this the second hype train? Cheese and rice. Y'all are amazing. I appreciate y'all. I really do. You'll be happy to know that I'll eventually put it up on Throne, but you know, like Don and I, we've been making moves behind the scenes. We've been making moves, and you know, I'm excited to see where we're gonna be at 10 years from now, like adult moves. Okay, not talking games. The only game we're playing right now is the game of life, and we're gonna win that game. I may lose in Mario Kart and Mario Party. I'm not gonna lose in life. Promise you that. Gift 1 sub for reward. What is Twitch doing? Hey, y'all gotta catch me up. It says I can gift a sub? Or is it saying I need to gift a sub in order to get a reward? It's probably telling me to gift a sub. I don't know if it's like a free one that I can gift. Because like TikTok has that. I will give TikTok that. TikTok lets me gift out a sub monthly. As long as we meet a minimum sub goal. I think I have to have like 10 subscribers and they'll give me 1 sub I can give away every month. And it increases the more subs we get. I don't ever push that on TikTok right now, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited to go back and revisit a lot of the content that I've been making, that I've made over the years, and take advantage of this camera to the fullest. Your book talk. You know, that's a great reminder. People should have like alt accounts for specific things because of how these algorithms work. It's a lot of work to keep up with, unless you're that person and don't ever admit it if that's you. Let me just lower in this camera a little bit. Over on TikTok. Okay, I think that's better. But it's good. So like if you're trying to research something, or if like you, especially for work or something else, like, you know, you have that account, or you know, you have your personal account, you have your business account, you have your hobby account, stuff like that. I think it's just good. It's tough to try and tweak these algorithms to how you want them under one account, depending on how old the account is and how long you've had it, and how much data lives in the account. Look at the photos. Okay, I'm going to Discord. Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. Yo, are you serious? Also, flex. It's the stream of the year stuff. I am not gonna lie to you. This year, I have definitely spent the least amount of time on Twitch. I don't think that surprises anybody. And the problem is I have a hard time regulating stuff like this. Like if I start getting into watching Twitch streams again, I'm the person that starts like almost scheduling my life around the streams. And so like from a streamer perspective, you're like, that's the goal, or that's what we want to hear or see, but that's not my goal. Obviously, I want people to show up, if possible, as many times as possible. However, I want to preach balance, okay? Step outside, touch grass, don't always be glued to your screens, don't always be glued to your devices. Prioritize your physical health. In turn, your mental health will improve. I won't say your mental health will just be, you know, fixed or anything like that, but I'm saying that is one of the pleasant upsides of prioritizing physical health, just start with walks or something low stress, so that you don't overdo it one day and are so sore for so long that you don't want to do it anymore. Like I want this community. I think what's going to separate us further than most other communities, in my opinion, is the fact that we will showcase our range as a community. We'll showcase people that are promoting physical health and mental health and literature and video games and entertainment and philosophy and astrology and probably not politics, but money at some point. That's going to be further down the road when I feel like we've reached a point or something where we've been able to either educate or like help increase the financial intelligence of most of our community members, or I pivot in my direction of content, and that becomes part of it, part of the experience. Because in the sense, like just increasing your financial intelligence is going to actually, for me at least, erase that stigma of money, like talking about money, regardless of my situation. Like it doesn't feel taboo anymore. I don't feel like I hate myself anymore about it, or that the hole I'm in is a hole I can never get out of. I don't think that way anymore. I don't feel that way. Is it a challenging situation I'm in? Yes, but thanks to my increased financial intelligence, I already am making moves to change everything. And again, at least for me, the most experience or growth I ever get in life comes or is born from struggle. And I think that's how it is for a lot of you as well. So just try to remember that. And the goal is to the overall goal, without any plan in place, is just to help increase your intelligence, because the more you do that, the better off you're going to be. You're going to be more in control of how your life plays out because you're increasing your intelligence. You're not just blindly following just one person or a group of people, or sharing one extreme perspective on things, or leaning to one side or the other, or thinking that if someone doesn't share your own beliefs or perspectives on things, that they're a bad person, or that they're dumb, or they're none of that stuff here. Where we're gonna educate you, okay? We're gonna educate you. We're gonna teach you things, and you'll thank me later for it, and the rest of this community. So yeah, financial intelligence, emotional intelligence, general intelligence is all worthwhile. It is. I want people to become addicted to learning. Can we get a dash of common sense in there too? Common sense isn't a thing anymore. Okay, common sense was before technology, I think. I think common sense died with your generation, Teddy Bear. I think my generation showed some signs of it, and then when technology came into play, we're like, because then we spawned Gen Z, and then Gen Z, and like Gen Z's, I think Gen Z hates us millennials overall, because we were the last generation that truly believed in college and the American dream of what I currently actually have, ironically, which is living in a home with a white picket fence in a very stereotypical neighborhood where all the houses look the same, with like 3 or 4 different floor plans. Probably figure it all out. Like it's not it. Okay, it's not it. And us millennials did not have a plan in place on how to tackle our student loan debt, and we're either in the side of things where we're relying or hoping that the federal government will absolve us of our debts, or we're on the side where we're like, yeah, we gotta pay it back. All right, we gotta do it. Someone has to. But yeah, throwing Dred's generation under the bus. Yeah, Dreddy can handle it. All right, Dreddy's generation and older knows how to take stuff like that, but my generation and newer, man, I would be surprised to hear what type of comedians, for example, the Gen Zers and the Gen A's out there, or the alpha people like. I bet you all the comedians I like, they probably hate. And I hope I'm wrong. You know, because they're probably going to be like, oh, they're too mean, or they're talking down, they're punching down, or they're being phobic in some manner or whatever. It's like, it's comedy. You don't have to watch it if you don't like it. You don't have to cancel this person or try to cancel. Why don't you put that energy into figuring out what you want to do with your life before you cancel yourself because you invested all your time and energy into this millionaire that's already made it, doesn't have to do another stand-up ever again. They're doing it because they're bored or they still love their craft. But two things can be true at once, just so you're aware. Not everyone knows that. First, doesn't take us out for ice cream after streaming all this. I know. Just plain crazy that you get this degree to get a job, but you can't get the job because you don't have experience. But how do you get experience without a job? Exactly. How do you pay for your student loan debt if you can't get the job because you don't have the experience for the degree that you got in college? It comes down to networking. That's what they never talk about. At the end of the day, what you really need to do is just learn how to talk to people. You gotta learn how to build relationships. Those people are gonna get you places. They're gonna open doors for you. Open doors that college won't do. And now I'm hating, and the people older than me don't understand probably. But I'm hating on the Gen Zers and the Gen A's out there because they're like, yo, I'm gonna make it without ever having to go to college. And I'm like, screw you. If that were me, I'd have to work at a retail place or something for 20, 30 years and hope that I become store manager someday just so that everything's my fault and I'm still not getting paid enough for any type of decent living. Anyways, I have to go. It's almost 10 o'clock. I'm super excited that I got to host a stream again. The camera has held up. We haven't had any issues for the most part. And keep an eye out on notifications. I feel pretty good about this week. I feel like we should be live again on Thursday, and Saturdays is questionable because we're gonna do stuff with friends, but it's Saturday night, so I technically would have an opportunity during the day, but I want to see how things play out because I don't want to try forcing a stream. You know, again, balance. All right, balance. So, thank you all so much. Take care. Love you all. Bye bye.